The Battle of the Coral Sea and Midway were our first decisive victories. Nimitz expressed the gratitude of the nation when he decorated many of the Navy pilots and sailors who had helped turn back the enemy. As the war in the Pacific slowly changed from one of desperate defense to one of confident offense, the men who directed it found the need for careful coordination ever greater. The combined Navy and Army forces under both Nimitz and MacArthur worked smoothly to batter down the walls of Japan's Pacific Empire. But the war could not be viewed on maps, and the grand strategy which defeated the enemy could not all be planned within the conference room. On an inspection tour with Admiral Halsey and Navy Secretary Frank Knox, Nimitz conferred with combat veterans in the Solomons following our bitter 6-month struggle for Guadalcanal. On Kwajalein Island, Nimitz inspected what was left of Japanese defenses. After the American fleet and ground forces had hit the island, wrecked equipment and fire-scorched beaches told the story of our success. Before the Pacific fighting entered its final phase, with the recapture of the Philippines and the final thrust at the Japanese homeland, MacArthur and President Roosevelt met with Nimitz at CINCPAC headquarters in Hawaii. Our capture of Saipan immediately before the meeting meant that a major rupture had been accomplished in Japan's inner defense perimeter. Although Nimitz and the other American leaders were unaware of it at the time, the Japanese General Staff was already asking its government for a peace settlement with the United States. The Americans did know, however, that Premier Tojo had been forced to resign, and their confidence was high. Plans for retaking the Philippines were submitted and approved at this meeting. In spite of the enormous responsibility and pressure which bore down upon Nimitz during these busy and critical days, in spite of daily decisions involving thousands of lives, he remained the same gentle, dignified, humble man he had always been. Nimitz was always the ideal commander, the quiet Texan who had begun his task in the Pacific with a shattered fleet, a fleet which in less than 2 years was transformed into one of the world's great navies. Under his strong, imaginative guidance, men of the Navy fought a sea war such as no men had ever fought before, and many new names were added to the list of American naval great. Coaching them, counseling them all in the epic struggle for victory was Nimitz.